Om 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 Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Narayana. Let us discuss a little bit of Mulavidya Nirasa also. Okay. Now we were discussing Mulavidya Vadi's Prakriya, and he told that the world exists throughout our life, in all our experiences. This is his Prakriya. Throughout our life, in all our experiences, avidya is there, Jagat is there. Jagat is there in some form or other, and its cause, Mulavidya, is always there in all our experiences throughout our life. You have no experience whatsoever. You have no experience at all of being free from avidya. This is what is the contention. This is what the what you say, Siddhanta, Paksha, view of Mulavidyavadi. We have no anubhava of our Nija Swarupa. See, this is a very strange thing. Our real nature is free from avidya. Our real nature is Brahma. But you never have anubhava of our real nature in your life. There is no experience, there is no time when you are free from your misunderstanding and you are with yourself. We call Brahma is our Swarupa, and at the same time you have no experience ever in your life of being Brahman. Isn't it strange? If it is my real nature, then I should have an experience of Brahman all the time. Because that's how can I go away from my real nature? How can I lose my real nature and go away from it? But they say, Mulavidyavadis, you have no experience of your real nature at any time in your life. Throughout your life, there is always an experience of being away from your real nature. There is always an experience of, just let us wait, something has. So, wrong angle of looking is avidya. Wrong angle, when you leave the wrong angle, come to your real, you are already Brahma. So, this is our Prakriya. But they say, avidya is a state. They take it this way, ajnanam is a state, and the state is away from your real nature. They put it as a two states. Your real nature is at one level, ajnana is in another state, you have come down to another state, and as long as you are in this state, you can never peep into your real nature, you can never have an inkling of your own nature. You can never have any sign, any signal, any what you say, an intuition or anything. You can never have an intuition of your own nature. It is always gets covered up. So that means during ajnana, during your samsara state, you are totally in a different level where you are away, where you have no touch with your Swarupa. That means there is something, a covering upon you, and you live at a different level. But this is where we differ. Mulavidyavadis say, throughout your life, you have no experience, you have no intuition, you have no a suggestion of your real nature. You have no, what to say that, I don't know how to use the word. You have no glimpse. You have no awareness. You have no awareness of your Swarupam. So therefore, throughout your state of ignorance, you are in a different world, you are in a different experience. That's a totally another experience. Brahmatvam is another experience, Jiva is another experience. This way of presenting is the real problem. We say, even in this state, it is only a wrong angle of looking. You are Brahma right now. Right now. You just shift the vision, you will find it right now. You don't have to go to another level. You don't have to rise to another level. Rising means, is it in another level? There is no rising. There is no covering of Brahman. Therefore, Sushupti is your real nature. But you are looking at from the waking angle, Sushupti looks that it is a blank. But you drop the waking angle and you are Brahman. So, your real nature is with you. You can never miss it. You can never be away from it. Only you are misunderstanding, not missing. The difference is, misunderstanding is different from missing. I said this in Kannada. Kalkolluvadu is different from forgetting. You forget, but don't kalkolluvadalla. Andre, you misunderstand it, but don't miss it. It is like you are seeing in a worldly experience, if I can give you, you are looking at a person, talking to him, but you don't know that he is the one whom you are looking for. You are looking for somebody, and then search it this way, then you thought that probably he will come, and you waited. So much time long happened. Why didn't he come? Then he trying to ask it somebody. See, I'm expecting him, he is to come. So he's asking, and then by chance, do you know when is he expected to come? You asked the person, and the same person, he has been sitting here for the half an hour, and you have been waiting for the person who is sitting in front of you. See, you have been waiting for a person who is sitting right in front of you, and other person who has come, he doesn't know that you are waiting for him, and then you are waiting for somebody, and that somebody is right in front of sitting you. So you only misunderstood him. You are not missing him. You are only misunderstanding him. See how beautiful is the example. You are misunderstanding, not missing him. You are seeing him right now. Therefore, Brahmatvam is your Anubhava. You are never deprived of your Brahmatva Anubhava. You are only misunderstanding. You are not recognizing, but not missing Brahmanubhava. This is the difference between us. So therefore they say, throughout your Jiva Anubhava, you have no Brahmanubhava. Throughout your Jiva Anubhava, you are deprived of Brahmanubhava. You don't have Brahmanubhava. You miss Brahmanubhava, they say. You miss Brahman. Not only you misunderstand, you miss Brahman. This is the difference. Okay? So Mulavidya says, you miss. Therefore, in your waking state, there is a world. There is a duality. You miss Brahman. In dream, you miss Brahman. Deep sleep, that means in all your experiences, you only miss Brahman. You don't have an experience where you don't miss yourself. Okay? This is what he says. So, in the waking, dream and deep sleep, world is there in some form or other. World is there and then avidya is there. That means you are living in a different realm apart from your real nature, away from your Brahmatvam. Now the last point, passage, 9th passage we will say, avidya parihara prakaraha. Then how do you remove ignorance? According to our prakriya, you do vichara. Vichara means what? You examine. You examine your angle of looking. See, examine means the angle of looking yourself you have at the moment. Is this angle of looking right? The angle of looking, the angle from which I am looking at myself and the perception I have about myself, is it the right? You verify, you check and recheck. You come to understand the very angle is wrong. Then you understand, oh, this I know it, I have been seeing it. It's like in the example, you are seeing the person sitting in the audience right in front of you. And you think that the main person who is to talk on the platform today has not come. So you are waiting for him, and you told the audience, you didn't say anything, you are just sitting waiting for it, and you ask somebody else to sing some bhajan or something. The main speaker has not come, somebody is singing bhajan. The person has come and sitting right in front of you, and he thinks that you are waiting for somebody else, and you think that he is not the person. So I am waiting for the person to come, and the person is in front of you is not the person. And the person who has come thinks that you are waiting for somebody else. Nobody talks to each other. They don't talk to each other. He also waits and you also wait. Wait, half an hour. You wait, keep on waiting. After half an hour, then you get a doubt. What is this? Why didn't he come? He gave me the time and we can understand 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour. Why is he late? Then you get restless and then shout and talk to the people. And then somebody came. And then somebody says, whom are you waiting for? He asked. Waiting for so-and-so person. Yeah, is he not the one? Why are you waiting? Is he right from sitting here? Oh my God, is he the one? I didn't know. How can you say I didn't know? You are seeing him. He asked, you are seeing him right in front of him. How can you say that you don't know him? Oh, he says, I am seeing, but I didn't recognize. Oh, that's what. I've been seeing, but you are waiting for him. You are seeing him and waiting for him. What does it mean? You are seeing right in front of you and waiting for him to come. Come. Where does he come from? He is here right in front of you. He is here right in front of you. And you say you are waiting for him. How can you wait for him who is already in front of you? How can you wait for him to come when he is right in front of you? When you are the Brahman, how can you miss him? How can you miss yourself? You can only misunderstand, not miss it. That's a difference. So, this Mulavidya Vadin say, there is an avidya layer. Avidya layer means not only misunderstand, you are missing him. So, you have to remove the layer and get into a new experience of him. You have to get into the experience of Brahman, because this avidya layer is covering up. It doesn't allow you to see Brahman, so you are missing Brahman. We help you to get a glimpse of Brahman. You are missing him. We help you to get a touch with Brahman. You get an experience of Brahman. Ajnanam is a layer. Layer has to be removed to get a touch, to get an experience of Brahman. Okay. Idam cha ajnanam vedanta vakya shravanadi janita brahmatmaikya jnanadeva apasarati. This ajnanam being a layer, unless this layer is erased, unless this layer is set aside, you cannot have a glimpse, you cannot have an experience of Brahman. The experience of Brahman is covered by a layer. This layer has to be scrapped. Okay? Scrapping? Yeah, it has to be scrapped. Then how you have to get a jnanam? How? What is that scraping process? Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana keeps rubbing on it. Okay? Get a brush. It is a brush of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana is a threefold brush. With this brush you have to rub. When you rub it, the layer fades away. Layer, what you say, that gets scraped. Layer gets removed. Then you come to have an experience of Brahman. Therefore you say, idam cha ajnanam vedanta vakya shravanadi janita. Vedanta vakya shravanadi janita. Born of a knowledge, born of the shravana, manana and nididhyasana of Vedanta vakya, a knowledge is born. That knowledge, as it comes, it erases the layer of ajnana. The layer has to be scratched. You have to rub it again and again and again. Then the layer gets faded. The inner Atma gets popped up. Okay? Atma gets popped up. So, Brahmatmaikya Jnanadeva apasarati. See, apasarati, goes away, gets scrapped. I have translated first chapter, even a part of second chapter of it into English long before. See, I have my manuscript pages here. But there it is a bare translation. The way I am explaining now, all this I have not included in my translation. Now when I am explaining, I am using different words and different arguments and expression. There it is just a bare translation. I have done it. Anyway, I think it is a first chapter is there in typed copy also. I'll try to share. I think even Sugama also I myself should share. I don't know when they are going to print it. Looks that it is like a, I'm sorry to say, it is like a black hole. Once it goes, it disappears. The Sugama, I think in a day or two, I think I'll start sharing with somebody. Otherwise it is going on endlessly. So, idam cha ajnanam vedanta vakya shravanadi janita brahmatmaikya jnanad apasarati tad apasrutyanantaram. See to think. So, this ajnanam apasarati. Yes. Because they just don't publish it and don't allow it to move. They just blocks it. This is the nature of, I don't know whether it is my bad luck or I don't want to blame now. If I say anything, it's a delicate point. Anyway, we leave it. We don't want to talk. We will do whatever is in our hands. We forget about them. Whatever is in our hand, we will continue. Okay. So, ajnanam is a layer Mulavidya. Namma prakriya, according to our prakriya, there is no layer covering it. That means you don't miss it. You are seeing it, but only an optical illusion is there. There is an optical illusion, though you are seeing. This is a better example. There is a long stick, like a pen. You put in water. You are seeing the stick, but you are only seeing slightly distorted. Distortion is a misunderstanding. But you are perceiving it. You don't miss it. They say there is a layer to cover it. You have no experience of the stick. The straight rod, you have no experience of the rod. You have to remove the layer, then only you come to perceive the rod. This is what their prakriya. Our prakriya says you are perceiving. In your perception, there is a distortion in your perception. That's all. Correct the distortion. Take the right angle. Right angle of perception, right angle of looking. You see it. Oh, I know it. I have been seeing it. I only just slightly distorted. That's all. You correct the distortion. You are already seeing. It is right, your anubhava. This is our prakriya. It may look, I am repeating it because it's a very, very subtle. So I expect people to catch the subtle difference. It's a very subtle difference, minute difference. Because more you go deeper into Vedanta, the difference is very minute. Seeing the minute, people say, oh, what difference doesn't make? In fact, all difference makes only in that much only. In that minute point alone, the difference is. Otherwise, everybody says the same thing. Okay, so tad apasrutyanantarancha yajnani prapancham samupalabhate. So this is their prakriya, Mulavidya's prakriya. After ignorance is scrapped, what happens? After ignorance is scrapped, you are directly Brahman. No, you are partly Brahman. You are in Brahman, yet you carry the old Dvaita world, a little bit of, how to say, you are Brahman, yet you carry a little bit of Dvaita Prapancha. Tad apasrutyanantaram, after scrapping it, yad jnani prapancham samupalabhate. Jnani continues to see the world of duality. He remains, jnani remains jnatru, jnani remains jnata karta bhokta, and he looks at the world. See, jnani remains jnata, perceives the world. Jnani remains karta, if does the karma. Jnani remains bhokta, and he comes to enjoy pain and pleasure. See, so that means he undergoes the normal experiences of a jiva even after knowing Brahman. This is their prakriya. Note it, otherwise don't get confused. We don't say that. Because Jnani is Brahman alone. He doesn't have the world of duality. He doesn't stand as a pramata. He doesn't stand as a karta. Doesn't stand as a bhokta. He becomes free from jnatru, kartru, bhoktu. In short, he is not an individual. Once he knows the truth, he is not an individual. Jnani is not an individual. Note it. Jnani is not an individual. Jnani recognizes is a non-individual absolute Brahman. Jnani is absolute, not an individual. This is important point. They say they present Jnani even after Jnanam, even after knowing absolute, he continues to be individual. This is the problem. Does he continue to have an individuality? Does he continue to perceive the world? That means, does he undergo states? Does he feel that I am in the waking, I am in dream, I am in sleep, I am undergoing states? Or does he stand stateless? Does he undergo states, or does he stand stateless existence, eternal existence, neither coming nor going nor moving nor changing? No movement, no change, no relationship. No movement, no change, no relationship. I am just eternal and absolute all the time same. Does he remain absolute or keeps on changing, moving? Okay. Tad apasrutyanantaram yad jnani prapancham samupalabhate. See, if jnani remains an individual and still sees the world. Okay. Tad avidya leshakya avidya samskara nibandhanam, that is due to samskaras of avidya. They say, according to them, that he remains an individual and comes to perceive the world, remains in relation with the world. He remains an individual and stands related to the world, stands in relation with the world. And this, how can he do? First you told the avidya which is responsible for his individuality and being related to the world is scrapped. When avidya is scrapped, you are directly Brahman. How can you still be an individual and get related to the world? Isn't it impossible? They say it is possible. Even after jnanam, he remains an individual and gets related to the world. How is it possible? Because we ask a question, when avidya is scrapped, how can we? He says, avidya goes away, but a small trace of avidya remains. A little trace. Trace means a lesha. Lesha means a faint part of avidya, a faint avidya, a trace of avidya. It is like you put an oil or water in a vessel, like just now I have seen. You drink coffee or anything, everything you take it. Then after you totally drink, oh, you see one drop has come. Now, is there a little bit of drop or half drop sticking to the what you call walls of tumbler or not? To the walls of tumbler, I think I should keep a tumbler all the time in my class, so that I need an example. Yeah, I think hereafter I'll keep the tumbler here all the time. Ghata kasha, for ghata you have to use this. Okay, so when you totally what you call change the water, or you drink away or change the water, does it become totally dry? A little bit of sticks to it, little bit sticks. Then what do you say? Is it empty or still water is there? How do you say? Do you say the tumbler is emptied of its water, or do you say not completely emptied, a little bit of water is there? We say it is empty. It is empty because I drank the complete coffee and it is empty. When you drank completely empty, similarly with knowledge avidya goes away, but a little bit remain. But that's not called remaining, that's only avidya lesha, a trace of it sticking to the wall when everything is removed. Yet you call it emptied only. Therefore avidya is removed. But little bit of remains, but that little bit of sticking to the wall, that doesn't count. Therefore, we can say broadly, avidya is removed. Therefore, vessel is empty. Just as we say vessel is empty, but little bit sticking, the sticking is not counted, cannot be counted. Therefore it is empty. Similarly, when avidya is removed, a little bit trace means just sticking to the wall, okay, they cannot be counted. Due to that trace of avidya, he has an individuality and he is perceiving the world. Okay, whose prakriya is it? Mulavidyavadi's prakriya. So, and this is called avidya samskara. Avidya lesha or avidya samskara. They call two names, either avidya samskara or avidya lesha. A trace of avidya or an impression of avidya. Old thing, the real thing is gone, but its impression, the memory remains. Okay, so such a samskara, and this samskara is responsible for prarabdha karma phala bho. Now, okay, then if that little bit remains, here you see when the vessel is emptied, a little bit is sticking. Even that little of it, you put a cloth or you put a hand, your hand gets wet. But for drinking, it's not available, it's removed. As a vessel, it is empty, but you put your hand, your fingers get wet, little wet. You put a cloth, you get little bit wet. Okay. Now, even that little bit of samskara, little bit of left out, when will it go? See, when the avidya completely goes, then only you become Brahman. Almost avidya is almost nearly gone, almost gone, except a little bit which is when you say unconsiderable, insignificant part remains. The significant part of avidya goes away. Insignificant cannot be counted, so micro it doesn't count. Okay, but even that insignificant micro millimeter also, when will it go? Prarabdha karma phala bhogante. Now he has this individuality due to his prarabdha, and to continue the prarabdha, that much of little bit of avidya remains. And when the prarabdha is enjoyed, then the time of death comes, time of losing the body. Even at that time, the entire karma is gone, all prarabdha. Then whatever the left out trace of avidya also goes away with prarabdha. Atmakara charma vritti vinashya. Then there is an atmakara vritti. There is a knowledge in keeping with Atma, a final thought of, a final conception, final thought of, final conception of Brahma, final stage, final leg, whatever you call. The final leg of conception of Brahman removes avidya and everything. Atmakara charma vritti vinashya dehapatat urdhvam. Then what happened? Prarabdha is exhausted, body falls off. Then when the body falls off, prarabdha goes away. Prarabdha ends. When the prarabdha comes to an end, body falls off. When body falls off, then avidya completely goes away without a trace. Okay. Earlier, almost gone, but an insignificant trace remained. Now that without any trace, without any samskara, totally wiped out, nobody even recognized that there was an avidya and it has gone. See, sometimes you have a wound. The wound is healed, but some kind of a scar remains. Okay. Then seeing the scar like a white scar, I think, do you have a scar? I have a scar, not here. On my knee, I have my childhood scar. Somewhere I am not able to show the example. Anyway, everybody has, I think, you have a scar, you can see that. Now, do you say seeing the scar, do you say it is a wound? Oh, how can you call it wound? Wound is healed long before. As a wound, it is healed, but a scar remains. Okay. Similarly, this jnani has little bit of avidya, a trace of it like a scar. Scar is not a wound. Real wound is healed. Avidya gone according to them, but a scar remains. This scar, due to the scar, prarabdha remains, and body continues, and the world perception of duality continues. So this will go away. This will go away only when prarabdha comes to an end. Even the trace of avidya gets burnt by the ajnanam, the jnanam which has risen before. It continues along with the trace of avidya. the jnanam continues along with a trace of avidya, and that jnanam and a last trace of avidya, insignificant trace of avidya, they live side by side. This jnanam is, it cannot destroy it, because the main jnanam is destroyed, main ajnanam is destroyed, but the trace of ajnanam is not destroyed. So, but jnanam which has arisen lives with it until the prarabdha is exhausted. When all the prarabdha is exhausted, when the body is about to fall, that is the time it destroys even the trace of avidya. The left out trace of avidya also. Who destroys? Jnanam. Which jnanam? Which has arisen long before. But after rising, what did it do? No, it was sitting by its side, it didn't want to destroy it. So therefore, jnanam arises, but it destroys the major portion of avidya, it destroys, but a trace, a small trace, it leaves out. Not only leaves out, it lives with it. This is Mulavidya Prakriya. Okay, remember, it's not our Prakriya. So, jnanam which has arisen, like the sun which has arisen, lives with darkness, a trace of darkness. It is like, when the light comes, does the darkness go away? Oh yes, goes away. But completely goes away? In a way, completely you can say, but a trace of it remains. This light which has arisen, sun has arisen, he coexists with that, a trace of avidya. He coexists with it. When that prarabdha is exhausted, even that coexisting, the smallest portion, the trace of it also disappears only with prarabdha. Then when the body falls off, then only he becomes a real Advaita. Deha pata durdvam tu videha kaivalyakyam. We call it videha kaivalya, disembodied. Videha kaivalya is videha. Deha is body or embodiment, embodiedness. I don't know, you have such an expression. We Indians create a lot of new English words to suit our Sanskrit Vedanta. We create a lot of English. I don't know whether embodiment and embodiedness, such an expression is there. Doesn't matter, you can learn. So embodiedness, sashariratvam, as Bhashakara says in Sutra Bhashya, embodiment. Videha kaivalyam, unembodied, disembodied. Now his embodiment is disappears. So he is unembodied. That means he doesn't embody in a body form. It doesn't assume a body form. It doesn't remain in a body form. The body is totally wiped out. He becomes totally disembodied person. Okay? Videha kaivalyakyam. Then he becomes a pure nirvishesha chaitanyam, without any specification, a pure consciousness, without any distinctions, without any specification. Whole thing is one uniform consciousness. So, nirupacharitam avashyam atmajnani pasyati. Then the atmajnani becomes really, nirupacharitam means in its primary sense, in its real sense, virtual. In its primary sense means virtually he becomes Advaita. That is the time he becomes virtual Advaita. Before that, in a way he can be called Advaita, but Prarabdha is there, therefore there is no complete Advaita in him. Now he becomes real Advaita. Okay, after the death of the body, a real Advaita comes. This is what Mulavidyavadi says. Okay, remember that. Asmins chapakshe jagaratyad. Then I think time is up. We'll take rest. Otherwise I am overstraining myself. Asmins chapakshe. Shall I continue? Asmins chapakshe. Okay, 10 minutes are there. We'll continue. We'll complete this 9th portion. Asmins chapakshe jagaritadyavastatraya parikshanam saprayojan. Then if this is the case, then what is the play? Now we Vedantins Sachidananda Swamiji told, by examining the 3 states, you get Brahmatvam completely. Completely avidya goes away. You don't have to wait for the falling of the body, and you don't have to wait for the falling of the body to be able to attain non-duality, Advaita. Advaita is right now, presence or absence of the body is immaterial. Presence or absence, you don't have to look for presence of the body or absence of the body. Presence and absence both are illusion, they don't exist for you. Okay? You are Advitiyam Brahman, neither there is body nor you have removed the body. Neither there is body nor you need to remove it. presence of the body, removal of the body, both don't mean anything, don't exist at all. Is only non-dual Brahman. This is what we say. Okay? Satchidananda Swamiji's prakriya, body, disappearance of the body, both don't exist. You are directly Brahman right now. Not only right now, always. Not only always, even before and now and ever, all the time you are Brahman. You don't need to remove the body because it never existed. We don't have to wait for the falling of the body because body never existed. Jivatopi vidusho ashariratvam, the fourth sutra. In the fourth Brahma Sutra, Tattu Samanvayat, in that fourth sutra Bhashya, Bhashakara says, Jivatopi vidusho ashariratvam. Ashariratvam is all the time there. Swabhava. Jnani, Atma Swarupa, Atma is free from embodiment ever. Not that at some time he becomes free from the body and earlier he had the body. He never had a body. No question of removing it. It is not that he had a body for some time and later removes it. After removing it, he attains a non-dual Brahman. No. In Brahma Jnanam means neither I had a body before nor I need to remove it. Neither I had a avastha before nor I have to remove the avastha. Neither I had waking state nor I have to give up the waking state. State, no question of existing state and removing the state. Don't exist for me. I am always Brahman. This is the understanding according to Satchidanandendra Swamiji. Okay. So ashariratvam is a swabhavikam. Being free from embodiment is your very nature. Therefore, you can't say that there was body and then you have to remove it. First thing is there is no question of body, where is the question of removing it? Okay, this shifting the vision is jnanam, that's all. Okay, but he says, then in that case, what is the purpose of examination of three states according to Mulavidya? We are asking him. According to you, Mulavidya, if only falling of the body is required, only after falling of the body alone happens, then what is the purpose of examination of three states? Up to what extent they help you? What is their role? In giving jnanam, they don't help. He says, your Mahavakya gives rise to jnanam. Mahavakya alone removes it. He says, no. Avastatraya Viveka, examination of the three states, doesn't remove complete ignorance. Removing ignorance and showing, making you stand as Brahman. Doesn't remove ignorance, doesn't help you to stand as Brahman. Therefore, if that is the case, then what is the place of Avastatraya? But we have told, by examining the three states, you shift your vision from the waking state. When the standpoint of waking is gone, you are already Brahman. That you find in deep sleep. Deep sleep is not a result of removing the waking state. Is not going from away from the waking state. Is not removing the waking state. It is understanding that waking, there is no such thing called waking, nor you need to remove it. You are already Sushupti. You are Sushupti. You don't go to Sushupti. You don't acquire Sushupti. You don't gain Sushupti. Sushupti is synonymous to yourself. You don't go. Where waking state is not there, where there is no individuality, you are Brahman. And you, the very you, non-dual you, is called Sushupti. Okay, so Jagarita, then what is the purpose of examining three states? He says, examining three states also has some purpose. It also serves some purpose. We don't totally reject examination of three states. You may think, you Satchidananda Swamiji follower may think that we Mulavidyavadins give no room for examination of three states. No, we also follow three states, but it serves a certain purpose. Up to certain extent it comes. It doesn't remove avidya completely. But it helps. It helps in understanding Brahman. How? Anena chintanena sarvasyapyanatmana sakashat paramatma tattvam vivichya jnapayitum shakyam. You can only understand the possibility of being free from world. the possibility, not reality, that it is possible that you can be free from the world. Because the world is coming and going, waking is replaced by dream is replaced by deep sleep is replaced by waking. By examining three states, you can say that one is replacing the other. From this, you can see the possibility that yes, it is quite possible that I can be totally free from states. It only shows the possibility of being from three states, and the real removal of states comes from Mahavakya. Mahavakya Jnanam alone can remove it, but here examination of three states don't remove. This is what they say. But our Shankara's prakriya is, you examine the three states, you come to understand Sushupti is a stateless you. Sushupti is you who is a stateless. Right now you are stateless. You have not come from the waking. As a Sushupti, you have not come from waking, nor you will go back to waking. There is no such thing called waking outside you, who is Sushupti, is all pervasive. So it includes waking. So there is no question of going to waking and again coming back from waking. There is no going and coming. You won't go anywhere. Wherever you go, you are only Sushupti. You are in Sushupti, you are Sushupti, and you neither go and come. It is eternal, non-dual existence. Okay. Vishishya Sushupti Chintanena Drishya Samsarganasha. So by examining the deep sleep, you can understand that Atma can, that means Atma is possibly different from the world. It can be disconnected from the world. Okay. So Sakashat Paramatma Sushupti Chintanena Drishya Samsarganasha. The connection with the external world can be broken. You will be convinced that, oh yes, I can break my connection with the world. You will be convinced. Okay. Drishya samsarganashat swarupa praptarit drishtanta prasidhyati. Then Sushupti is only an illustration to show that how this is a possibility. It is an illustration showing the possibility that after Jnanam you can be totally free from it. So Sushupti is not your real nature. Sushupti is only an illustration, serves as an illustration to show the possibility of becoming free from the world. It's not directly the freedom from the world. It's not directly your nature. It's only showing the possibility. But the real nature of non-duality will come. You have to get it now. You have to experience. You have to come to have that experience. यद्यपि न सुषुप्त्यवस्थाने पुनरावृत्तिरहित परमात्म भावः प्रकल्पते तथापि विपरीत ज्ञान निवृत्तेरुपयोगः प्रत्याख्यायते तदवस्था निरूपणेन इत्यम अथवति भवति. I think it's a little more complicated. I can't just quickly brush it. I have to explain. We'll do it leisurely in the next class. Now it is 1 o'clock. I have taken 45 minutes. It's enough. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om Tat Sat. In fact, I planned it this way. 12 to 12:45 Vishuddha Vedanta Paribhasha. No, 11 to 11:45 Vishuddha Vedanta Paribhasha. Then give some 15-20 minutes rest. 12:10 or 12:15 Mulavidya Nirasa until 1 o'clock. In between 11 to 1. Okay? In between 11 to 1, first session Vedanta Paribhasha in Kannada, second session Mulavidya Nirasa in English. I planned it. I don't know how. All the days I can't do because some disturbance, health and many other reasons come. So whenever it suits, I try to follow this so that we'll have, because Mulavidya is a very good text, very beautiful text. Every day we need to do that. Some portion, at least a little bit of portion, because some ideas, some misunderstanding get corrected. These Mulavidyavadis carry all Jiva's misunderstanding with them. And therefore, they help us to understand our own misunderstanding. So it's very interesting. We'll do that, okay, in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om Tat Sat.